Okay, so my name is Bamidele Olawale, aka Wally Bams. I'm a customer service executive and a voiceover talent. That's what I do.
All right, cool.
My name is Israel Ayol. I am a product designer. You can probably say I'm a tech bro, I guess.
Okay, so the idea of this conversation is, talking about grief and loss, and but just having a conversation. Really, it's not question and answer. It's not like a question and answer kind of thing. We're just talking, right? Sure. We're going to be talking based on a letter, literally, that somebody wrote in, and we'll pick up from that particular letter. All right, so hey guys, thanks for all you do on the podcast. I've been following you guys for a bit and it's been worth every episode, but I have just one question. Why do bad things happen to good people? Like, I don't get it. My mom was everything to a lot of people, a giver, a lover of many. She was my best friend, but I still can't come to terms with the fact that she's gone. It's been over 1 year now and I barely talk to people. I'm literally numb. I barely relate with anybody. You can practically call me a walking zombie for that matter. I'm still trying to pick up the pieces of my life together after the loss of my mom, but I don't know how. It's not like I need your help or anything. What can you guys possibly do for me? But I'm just writing to share with you what's going on my end. So yeah, keep up the good work, guys. From your biggest fan.
I know.
So I don't know, but from what this guy wrote, literally, is numb. It's like he's dead. Not like he's dead, but I don't know, but you guys can relate. You guys can actually relate. All right. So I don't know who wants to go first on this. Really. It's not like I don't think there's any right or
I know, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, who wants to
Okay, so here's the deal. I was actually emotional when you were reading because I was literally reliving the moments after my mom had passed. It's been what now? 2+ years since I lost my mom. The memory is still very fresh. I won't lie. Still very fresh. But one of the things that keeps me going, not to sound religious, is that Momsi lived a full life. I was talking with Israel the other time, I think it's better to live a full life that's short than to live a life that's long and filled with tribulations. We were talking about what's his name? Olu Jacobs.
Yeah.
I read an article somewhere that says talking about Joker Silva telling us about his condition with dementia. Imagine Olu Jacobs, the legend that we all know and love, living such a full life and then having to spend the rest of his years barely knowing any of it. It's a very terrible condition, and that could have been my mom. Like, it could have been my mom, but, thank God she just had to go the way she went. So we wouldn't have to, agonize over her or anything. So I think what I will tell this person is, like she said, her mom was definitely had to be a good person from all of the descriptions. And she should just find comfort in the life that her mom lived, or his mom lived, because I think he's a guy. So find comfort in the life that your mom lived. Personally, one of the things that's kept me going is, ever since Momsi died, I have consciously lived my life with two things in mind. It's to live a life that's that she will be proud of, and to ultimately make heaven, because I'm so convinced that my mom is in heaven and I would love to see her. And the only way I would get to see her is if I make heaven. So, you know, whatever it is, my actions, I'm not saying I live a perfect life, you know, but at the end of the day, when I do my reflections, I'm like, you know, will Yawali be proud of this thing? You know, would she be proud of if she was around and I was to be in the situation, and would she be proud of this thing I'm about to do or this thing that I have done? You know, so I just really feel like he should find comfort in knowing that, you know, his mom was a good person and someday, somehow, they will meet. And while he's here, you know, there's so much ahead of him. Whoever he is, he should just try to live his life, you know, try to make her proud.
I think everything Wale said is actually very true. But I think the part I just want to just add to that, the part I want to add to that is more like, I think before we started this, we were having a conversation, and then I was just telling you about how you really don't like come out of it. So I think like that's the first thing that he probably needs to resolve in his mind, that there might never be that point where he would get to and say, nah, like I've totally forgotten about this, because this is someone that you love, right? This is someone that you lived with for years, and you guys had fights, you had laughters, you guys cried together, did a lot of things together, and you might never come out of that point where you just like say to yourself, I don't ever miss this person. So that's like the first thing, understanding that I would always miss this person, right? And then coming to terms with the fact that this person is most likely never going to be there again, maybe until after eternity, if you believe in eternity. This person would only be there after that time. And then when he has been able to like do those two things, that gives him like the freedom to just really accept where he is. And from there, he might find that freedom to also just explore other things. As per the numbness, I remember, I think I also told you about it. So there's something I usually say, right? That when my dad died, a part of me died with him, right? And that was because like, I also became extremely numb. I didn't really care about any other thing. But I was able to come to that point where I accepted what had happened, right? And that gave me like the ability to explore. I wouldn't say like I'm back to really feeling everything. I just sort of reframed some of my priorities, right? It helped me understand that the major thing that really matters is like life and people, right? And that also helped me develop like a new philosophy of life, which is always being there for people whenever they need me, right? Because, I mean, I wasn't really there for my dad at that point, right? And then that just like put in me some form of consciousness to always be there for anybody. As long as I know that, oh, this person needs help and it's in my capacity to help the person, regardless of how much or how little it is, I'll just try and offer it, because you could be the next person.
Exactly.
So, were you guys there when like your parents passed on? were you at the scene?
Should I go first?
Okay, maybe you should go first this time.
Because mine is a bit older. So
yeah,
I think
sure. You should go first.
Yeah. So I wasn't there, right? Because funny story, right? I think, so I went to my brother's place on a Monday, I think. And I think I went on a Monday. And I think my dad passed on a Wednesday. So when I was leaving, I could see in his eyes that he didn't want me to leave. But I had like an interview to sort of prepare for. I wanted to just go apply for jobs, right? And I needed internet access in my brother's place. And then I just said to myself that I was going to leave. Plus, seeing him in that state, and I'll be very honest, it wasn't really about the job, actually. A part of it was about the job. But seeing him in that state, it sort of broke my heart, and it was a bit overwhelming for me. So I didn't want to really be in that space, right, where he just depended on us for like a lot of things that he did. And then, so I said, okay, I'll go to my brother's place. But I could see in his eyes that he didn't want me to leave because it sort of felt like he knew. Because it's Sunday, like, I think it's Sunday before that week, like 2 Sundays before that Sunday. You know, I said I left on a Monday. So like a Sunday before that, Sunday before the Monday, right? We had a family meeting and then he called everybody and, you know, thanks everyone. Thank you for this. Thank you for that. You've been this, you've been good, this, that. So it just felt like he knew that, man, he wasn't going to come out of that, right? Like physically.
Sorry to cut you, but at the point where it was like, thank you for all that, were you scared?
I wasn't exactly scared because sometimes we have like random family meetings. So I think to every one of us, like we felt, like it was just one of our random family meetings where Popsy would just come and say this and that. But we didn't really know that, man, it was exactly that. This was like the final family meeting. And then I went on Monday and on Wednesday, like Tuesday/Wednesday, I felt like I should just go home. Like I should go back home. So I told my brother that I was going back home. And then while I was going back, I get a call from my sister that says, oh, yo, come home. We need to take daddy to the hospital. Because my cousin was staying with us. So I was like, oh, so that I could stay with my cousin and stuff. So I was like, I know what, I'm moving on the road here. And then I get home and my cousin tells me what happened. Well, she didn't really give me the details because she didn't really know a lot about it. And then while I was going downstairs, so I think my sister called me to come downstairs or something. So while I was going downstairs, my sister comes up and then she tells me that daddy's dead. And I was like, what? It's like in my head, like, it didn't make sense. You get? So I was like, what? And then my sister was like, don't break down. Because she had been the one, like, herself and my mom had been the one taking care of him. So if I had broken down at that point, she would have probably crumbled, like, extremely. It would have been a lot of emotions. So I gathered myself together and I was like, okay, no problem. So I went downstairs, saw his body in the car, and I was like, damn it.
Whoa, my eyes are actually quite heavy with tears now because mine is a lot more recent and it's still very visual. Like, it's like yesterday. Okay, so what happened? Funny thing, my mom's own it wasn't like she was sick or anything. It was very sudden, like just like that. We were together that morning. We did laundry together. We sat together. We were joking, everything. She made breakfast that same day. You know, everything was fine. We were talking, we were just thinking. And usually the culture in my house is on Saturdays we clean. Anyway, typically every Nigerian household. So we do laundry, then we clean up and all of that. So we had finished our laundry. That was me and her. So she was eating watermelons and I remember just staring at her for about 5-10 minutes and she was like, because she's very sarcastic. My mom is such a funny person. So I said, you know, and it was something like that. And then I left her. So the last thing she said was, Wale, pamimu, mopwa. And then I took the mop. And of course, because I want to respect her privacy, I had to drop it by the bathroom door in her room. And then I dropped it and I went to bed because obviously nothing will do mommy now.
That was at night.
No, it was still in the morning after our laundry and we had our breakfast. She only had fruits before she went to wash up her bathroom and all of that. So she had me bring a mop and I just dropped it right by the door and I told her, Mom is here. I don't remember getting a response, but I just dropped it there. All of this was happening around 10, 11 in the morning. And then I went to bed and I slept for about 2-3 hours, woke up around past 3 to 4 in the evening. Now here's where it gets ugly. So there's this rain, the kind of rain that comes with sudden darkness of the clouds and everywhere looks, so I rushed out to go and pack the clothes we both had washed. So Thankfully, Daddy had woken up before me, so he went out to pack the clothes. So I also went there, packed the clothes, and went in. Funny enough, it was this kind of rain that's very breezy. So everywhere there was this kind of breeze. But I didn't really feel it until I opened the door of my mom's room. Because I was like, okay, why is this woman not coming out? At least it's raining. Everybody's supposed to come and quickly pack up. But why didn't she come? Okay, but I didn't think much of it. She's probably sleeping because she was stressed. Then I opened the door of her room. First thing that throws me off balance is that she had cleaned her room, and it's very unusual of my mom because she's a very neat person. You know, it's very unusual of her to like leave the room unkept. She had cleaned the room, and the dirt she had packed was in one corner of the room. And then it was like I said, it was really breezy, and there was this wave, there was this cold I just felt opening that door. It felt very strange. I then started shouting, "Where's mommy? Where is she?" I opened it. I saw that she wasn't in the room. I didn't want to open the bathroom door because I didn't think she would be there. So I went back outside. Daddy, mommy, why? Sorry for speaking Yoruba. Yeah. And then I went back into the room, and then something just said, "Open the bedroom door." And as I tried to open the door wouldn't open. Normally the door is it's a very easy door. Once you just a little push is open, and the door won't open. What is happening? Another thing you said, peep through the door. So I peeped through the hinges and I saw my mom. She was right there on the floor, leaning against the door. That's why the door won't open. I was mortified. I called Daddy. Daddy.